What's up? We're back with another video. Today though, I only have one earbud in because the mic is being weird, so I'm gonna have to deal with it. But today the weather is not terrible, you know. It's a little humid, but not too sunny. It's a little cloudy actually. It's warm. Feels good out here. Besides the little bit of humidity, but yeah, not too shabby. But anyways, I wanted to make a video about what it takes to be a man in the modern society, because there's men, okay? Men exist all over the world, but some men aren't truly men. They're just boys in a man's body. And what I mean by that is, I'm talking about their demeanor, how they hold themselves, their mental, their energy, all that. Sorry if I'm flapping. There's like mosquitoes going around, and I dumped a bunch of the water that was being collected in some of the buckets back here for the fire. But yeah, because I'm pretty sure mosquitoes lay eggs and stuff in the water. I think mosquitoes are attracted to water, so yeah. Anyways, what it takes to be a man. Now, this is all just what I believe of what it takes to be a man. But I'm going to be brutally honest in how I feel and think about this topic that I'm discussing now. Because there's a lot of disappointing men in this world. A lot of people that call themselves men, but there's just a little boy in a man's body, like I said earlier. Now, what it takes to be a man: you have to have discipline. You have to treat people kindly, but also treat them with, what's the word? Honesty. You have to be brutally honest, but you have to be nice at the same time, even if it means it's gonna hurt someone's feelings. Not intentionally be just a hurtful person, but you just gotta be honest as a man, and sometimes honesty is not what people want to hear, because the truth hurts, but that's what it takes to be a man. You have to be truthful and honest. Discipline, honesty, gentlemanlike. You gotta be respectful, man. You gotta be respectful. And a lot has to do with your mindset, but also, if a man has sexual discipline, okay, a man does not go around wasting his seed on every girl he sees, okay? He uses his seed wisely, because our seed is our sexual energy, and our sexual energy is our life force energy. It's very powerful. So why would you waste it? Exactly. So that means you don't masturbate. You don't waste your seed on whoever you see just because you're lusting over it. You wanna feel pleasure in that moment. No, you gotta have that sexual discipline. You save your seed for yourself, and you use it to your advantage. But also, you don't let people's bodies control you. bodies, they're just meat, man. Okay, that's it. You don't. A real man is not controlled by the B power. And if you know what the B power is, I'm talking about a woman's area, okay? Their sexuality. You're not controlled by their sexuality. Because a lot of men chase that. And if you're being controlled by a woman's sexuality, then you don't know what you're doing, man. You're just chasing after the feeling. But you gotta find that balance as a man of feeling and doing. That's why it's discipline and all that, because an example of a balance of feeling and doing is when you're working out. A lot of times you don't feel like working out. You just feel like chilling. But as a man, you do it because it's your responsibility. It's your purpose to remain fit and be as healthy as you can. And I'm not saying you have to be the healthiest man on earth, but I'm saying you at least have to put effort into your health as a man. But also your self-care. And you gotta be kind, you gotta be gentlemanlike, you gotta treat people with respect, and you have to embrace your masculinity in a healthy way, not a toxic way, like some men are doing. Well, actually, I'd probably say a lot of men are doing in today's society, because there's a lot of toxic men out there that people have to deal with, you know. Sorry, I was looking at a butterfly over there. I always see butterflies back here. Wait, what was that? See, there was a butterfly just in it. It's flying around. It's black. It's beautiful. Never gets old. Never gets old. So you gotta have discipline. You gotta be committed to your own health and your own being. And you have to build a relationship with yourself and become independent with yourself, because that relationship with yourself is going to build that independence within yourself, which builds your masculinity, which is being a man. You know, embracing the masculine while staying in touch with that feminine side. It's all about balance. And I'm not saying you have to do all this, because in truth, nobody has to play a role, okay? This is just what I'm explaining about what it takes to be a man to me, okay? Because it could be something else for a different person, you know? Just like how a man might think, another man, like, they might think that being a man is all about status and money and materialism and stuff like that. And power. No. It's not all about that, man. It's not about having all the power and having everything that you want and desire and just chasing after power. Because to be a man, it's accepting that you have power within yourself and power to express that power from within yourself, but holding yourself responsible for that power and being responsible with that power. Does that make sense? You can't just use your masculinity to your advantage all the time and take advantage of the world in immoral and, I'm not going to say bad, because, you know, bad and good. You know what? I'm just going to say it. Bad ways or immoral ways. You know, stuff that goes against morals. Like adultery. Excessive and obsessive adultery. That's an example of immoral and abusing your masculinities and power in a way that is not honorable. Does that make sense? Because when what it takes to be a man, you have to be honorable with how you hold yourself and how you take care of yourself and how you express yourself to other people and how you share yourself to the world. You have to be aware as a man of everything within you. Thoughts, feelings, spirit. But you don't attach to it, you just let go of it. You're aware of it. And you are aware when you have to work on yourself or when you have to change something about yourself. And then you take action towards it even if you don't want to. Because you're not going to feel like doing stuff all the time. It's the same thing with work. We don't feel like working, but we work anyways. Because it's for survival. We have to do it. So make it a priority to do something. Because it's better for you and it's going to better yourself and make you become the man that you should be. And that's the thing. What it also takes to be a man. I'm sorry if I'm muting it so much. I gotta clear my throat. I'm sorry. Still getting over that sickness and stuff. I was throwing up like mucus. Well, not throwing up, but hacking up mucus and stuff. So it's almost gone though. Almost completely. What was I got off track because I started talking about my sickness. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd that energy go? Where'd that thought go? Oh, yeah. As a man, and a lot of people get this mixed up. You know, sometimes people do something, like they try to work out for something. They try to work out for something outside of themselves, even though that's... No. You're basically, when you do that, when you're doing an action because you want to serve something on the external, you're not serving yourself. And an example would be choosing to work out because you want women. Okay, that can be a reason. But true masculinity, true power, comes in making the decision to work out so you can better yourself, not for anybody else. Because everything else will start to come to you, and everything else will start to work in your favor as you do what's best for you and stick to your alignment of your highest self and best self. Everything will start to flow into your life with ease as soon as you start to focus on yourself and do everything for yourself. And I'm not talking about being selfish. Well, selfish because there's selfish, serving your ego and serving yourself for your benefit. Does that make sense? Because in most cases, when you're serving your ego, it's something unhealthy. It's something that takes away from your being rather than giving to your being, like working out or meditating. An example of something out of ego would be whacking one out, masturbating, eating unhealthy. What's another one? Spending your money on stuff you don't need. Because like I said, as a man, you gotta have discipline. You gotta be careful what you spend your money on, and you gotta be wise with your money, because your money is what helps you and lets you survive in this world. And as a man, you gotta survive. You have to. And it's not easy to be a man, because as a man, you have to step into that masculinity. You have to be that masculine self that you are, while still expressing that feminine side of ourself through emotions and awareness and being. example as a man. And the reason why I say it's hard to be a man is because men, just like everybody else, and women, we deal with thoughts and emotions that we don't want to think about or we don't want to feel. And sometimes it's hard for us and we don't want to say it. Because as men, we feel as if we don't have to or we shouldn't express our emotions, our needs, our thoughts. Because society has deemed this toxic masculinity as real masculinity, even though it's false. That toxic masculinity, I'm sorry for stuttering. That toxic masculinity is when we don't express our emotions, our thoughts, and feelings freely. Because we, in most cases, most men feel as if, as a man, they're not allowed, or they shouldn't, express that side of themselves. Because they're a man. But in truth, a real man expresses and embraces both the divine masculine side and the masculine side, and the divine feminine side and feminine side, in union with each other. Water. Cheers. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot that we can do, but we shouldn't do until we're aware of what we should truly do. You know, as a man, you should sit back and instead of acting upon our impulses and acting upon everything so quickly, you should step back as a man and in that silence and choose the wise and smart decisions. Because a boy will go heads on into war thinking that everything is going to be fine and that everything is going to be happy and dandy. But war is brutal. War is disgusting. War is tragic. So when they go out into that battlefield, they better expect the worst and be prepared for the worst, because they prepared themselves for the worst. Does that make sense? A boy will go in blind, but a man will come in prepared. Even if the battlefield is blind, they will do the best that they can and keep going without getting down about anything, without stopping expressing themselves and expressing their power and shutting down just because life is hard. They keep going as a man, because as a man you keep going. And when you create that relationship with yourself, you will realize that you will always have your back and you will always have that support within yourself to keep going, because you don't need anybody else. You don't need anything outside of you. You are powerful and independent as you are within yourself. But you gotta wake up to it and realize that and become conscious of the fact that you are powerful and independent within yourself. Stop relying on the external world and people. Rely on yourself. That's true masculinity. But don't block. I'm telling you. I keep telling you this. The men that are watching this video. Do not block any part of yourself out, because as a man, you have to express yourself as you are, when you are, as is. It doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what other people feel about you. You matter. Your feelings matter. Your thoughts matter. And even if that means expressing your thoughts and feelings and emotions through a form of meditation or journaling or something, do it. If it benefits you, do it for you. Because you want to do it for you. A man builds himself from the ground up. From nothing. They go from that transition of boyhood to manhood when they start to cultivate that relationship within themselves and use their power and masculinity responsibly while expressing all of themselves unconditionally without a care about what the world thinks or feels about them. Anyways, this is just my take on it. So, there's other videos on YouTube, but yeah, this is just my take. So discipline, being loving and gentlemanlike, but being loving, when you love, you have to be honest with those that you are loving, even if it hurts them, because you gotta be honest. As a man, you gotta be honest with yourself, but also with other people. Anyways, I love you. Stay present. Stay safe. And one last thing. You men out there that are constantly wasting your seed. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to waste. There's a difference between wasting your seed for a pleasurable lust relationship and using your seed and using your sexual energy with someone that you love because you love them and you want to share that sexual energy and your sexuality with them. There's a difference. That's why you got to be disciplined and be aware of your sexual energy and how you use it as a man. Don't use it on lustful stuff. Save it until the one that is meant for you and the one that you're meant to embrace and love fully with your heart and soul and your sexuality and your body. That's when you use it. You don't waste it. Anyways, I keep prolonging the end, but I love you. Stay present. Stay safe. Peace.